Chair recognizes Representative Hightower to speak to the bill. Representative Dustin Hightower.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House, I came before you last year and had a few words on the Second Amendment. And I sat at my desk and I tried to think of another way to put those words, another way to present that speech, and I just couldn't find a way other than how I presented last year to do it. So bear with me, because I'm going to use what I said last year to convey my feelings on the Second Amendment again. The Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. 27 words that sets our country apart from almost every other part of the world. However, as important as those 27 words are, many of us no longer know the history behind these words. Now, I could sit up here and I could go through the points of this bill, but that's not why I wanted to come up here today. The reason I wanted to come up here today is to give some of us a history lesson that is well deserved. I grew up in rural Georgia, where hunting is not just a hobby but a way of life for many of my friends, including myself. While growing up, I would always hear my friends say, "I'm an avid hunter and I dare someone to try to take my guns away from me." But the importance of the Second Amendment has nothing to do with hunting, although you'll hear a lot of people say that. Our founding fathers viewed the right to bear arms as a God-given right. Our founding fathers viewed the right to bear arms as a way of facilitating a natural right of self-defense, repelling invasion, enabling the people to organize a malicious system, and deterring a tyrannical government. Now let me focus on that last one for just a moment. The Second Amendment was put in place in large part so that the citizens of this great nation could stand against its own government if the day ever arose to deem that necessary again. Now, if you remember last year, I told y'all a story about my own father. I said a wise man once said a healthy dose of fear goes a long way. And I told y'all that that man was my father. Growing up, he had a paddle that hung on the side of our door that you had to walk through to go in and out of our home. That paddle was a constant reminder and deterrent of when I find myself wavering on what I should do or what I was going to do, or if I was going to follow the rules of his house. That paddle was always there letting me know that if I ventured too far away from his rules, there were going to be consequences and there were going to be punishments. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States of America is a house run by the people, much the same as my father's house when growing up was run by him. It is my firm belief that the people should not fear our government, but our government should stay fearful of the people. And it is for those reasons that we must fight to protect the Second Amendment and our God-given right to bear arms. The constituents of my district entrusted me to come stand strong for what they believe in, and they believe in the Second Amendment and its original intent. With that said, as I previously mentioned, many of my constituents, my friends, and my family members have said on numerous occasions, "I dare someone to come and try to take my guns." However, I venture to say, if the law required them to surrender their guns, many of them would. They would do so because they are law-abiding citizens. They would do so because they would be afraid of going to jail if they refused. They would do so because they would be afraid of not knowing what would happen to their family if they did not cooperate. But I am here today, along with many others that work tirelessly in getting this bill constructed the way that it is, to make sure that no one in this great state of Georgia ever has to make that type of decision. I am here to stand up and fight for what I believe in and for the people and for what the people of my district believe in. Now, a lot of times during this process, we get asked over and over, why do we constantly talk about gun rights and the Second Amendment? And my answer is simple: because there are others who are constantly trying to take our rights away. We are the guardians of the rights of our people. We are the guardians of the people within our district. They sent us here to protect them, protect their rights, and protect the Constitution of the United States and of Georgia. As long as there are those who are trying to infringe upon our right to bear arms, there will be others, such as myself, to stand firm and uphold the Constitution of this great nation. Members of the House, I ask that you support this bill. It is a good measure. Thank you.
The gentleman has yielded the well. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of House Bill 875 will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of House Bill 875. The ayes are 119, the nays are 56. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed.